Welcome to another historical home rehab, St. Louis. I'm at one of the most exclusive private streets in St. Louis. This is number 49 Kingsbury Place. It's a massive 1913 estate brimming with untapped equity. Let's go in and take a look. If you've been looking for the ultimate historical home rehab St. Louis has to offer, this is your blank canvas with a few great surprises. Spanning nearly 5,000 square feet, this property has the bones, but needs a visionary touch to bring its classic elegance back to life. Let's dive into this exclusive historical property tour, St. Louis, and look at what it takes to restore this Kingsbury masterpiece back to its original elegance. Smash that subscribe button and let's go. All right, a couple of things that you're going to want to notice right away. A lot of this stuff is dirty. A lot of this stuff needs repair, but there are a bunch of things I really like about it. I like this double door entry, and you're in here. This is a huge, the room sizes in here are large, so it definitely has, the size and capacity for one of the grand houses in this neighborhood. So immediately to the left here, we have a formal living room area. And again, you got box beam in the ceiling. You got some pocket doors. Pocket doors are over here into this parlor. But what I like about this house already, it's dry. It's cleaned out. It needs everything, but it looks like somebody has, not really let this one go completely, in disrepair. Paint and flooring and windows. This is not a job for a lightweight. This is for somebody who knows what they're doing, but there's not a whole lot here that really would scare a pro. It's got a tile floor in here that looked like it had some sort of carpet or something on there, so maybe there's some life left in that. All of these doors and door hardware are OG original stuff and are heavy duty and can definitely be saved. You're not going to need to get rid of like all these interior doors and that kind of thing. Some of the exterior stuff, probably. But look at some of this detail on this mantle. Formal living room. That's been there for a minute. How about that piece? So on the other side here, this is like a little music room or something. Again, you're going to need to do windows, floors, paint, fixtures. Everything that you'd want to do to really bring it back to life, but I'm seeing good signs here that it isn't a ton of hidden stuff. I really like this staircase. That arched entry to that stairway over there is really cool, very dramatic, and this is all in great shape. Looking at some of these details. So the house does have a newer boiler for the radiators, but it also has 4 stairs, so if you wanted to get rid of the radiator system, you would just have to add your heating. Powder room down here, get groovy in there, people. And side access from the driveway. I don't know if these sconces are original, but they look like they could be. They're pretty cool. You could salvage those or go a different direction, of course. But all this molding is in great shape. Another OG fixture there. All this picture molding is great. Windows, you're going to have to get new windows going in here. And the kitchen's cleaned out. This looks like there was a wall here, I'd say, and this area was like a butler's pantry. The wall is gone. It looks like you've got some water supply lines and some waste stacks. I don't know if those are supply or waste, I'm not sure. but you'd have to do a little reconfiguring to keep those or put the wall back. But I would, all of this built-in cabinetry is in great shape and definitely worth keeping. And this kitchen area is certainly big enough to accommodate. A lot of these, you get into some of these even bigger historic homes, and the kitchens are tiny. So this one definitely, you got to do a little ceiling repair up in here, and obviously this is going to have to be totally reconfigured and reimagined. But pantry over here, another access to the backyard there. The floors seem to be, your basic white oak. They're going to need a little bit of repair and then be refinished, but they're in pretty decent shape. A lot of times you get into these historic homes and the floors have been refinished so many times you can't do anything with them. I think these are savable. So let's check out the upstairs. 2 staircases, back, front. Here we go. Again, I just really like the way it kind of curves down to the lower level. I don't really have seen much of that anywhere. These windows look like they're in good shape. A lot of times you see stained glass here. This is kind of like a I don't know what you'd call that, but almost like a beveled glass there. You might keep those if that floats your boat. I think they're in serviceable condition with a little repair and tune up and paint. So that's just a really unique arch and curved floor banister situation there. I think it's cool. All right. So a huge landing here. So you could definitely put the desk out here or put a little table and chairs, something, a little reading area. Bedroom 1. Again, I'm not seeing a lot of signs of too much damage that's been ignored. There's a little bit of water damage there from a radiator. But the rest of it seems to be just it needs paint and cleanup and fixtures, that kind of thing. Bed, little built-in linen closet. These old homes had tons of storage like this built in, which is always pretty cool. Bedroom number 2, maybe this would be your primary. This is a little screened in porch. It says, please do not open, and we will not. But you could definitely convert that into a little outdoor rooftop off the primary. Right now this is kind of Jack and Jill bath, but you could definitely reconfigure to make it just like the primary suite. There are a bunch of bathroom sinks in here that look like this. They might be cool to keep. I certainly think they're pretty unique, and they seem to be in pretty good shape. You can get them repainted, reglazed, and they might be a nice little flair for this house. This has got a little drop ceiling action in it, which I think is just like one of the things they did in the 70s to make it seem a little bit more energy efficient, but I don't know if you can tell by looking at it, but you just pull that off there, the trim is still on there from the original ceiling. All these doors are heavy duty, and a lot of them are painted on one side and not painted on the other, but they're in great shape and they are the real deal. And then bathroom here with another bedroom. Another one of those sinks I like. No one else will, but I like them. So that kind of rounds out the second floor. And more storage there. Heading up to the third floor. I don't know, what do you think about third floors? I'm kind of mixed. Sometimes I think they're a waste of time because no one likes to walk all the way up here. But this is total normal ceiling height. And what I see a lot in third floors is over time, There's peeling paint, peeling plaster, and it peels and cools and gets hot and cools and gets hot and then comes all peeling off. But this really looks pretty good, which makes me think that the roof here is probably newer from what I understand, and it has done a good job keeping this third floor from really falling apart with either water stains or heating and cooling back and forth, hot and cold damage. Hey, can you see me? So that's one bedroom. This, I think they're calling a bedroom, although it might not really count as one. It's kind of a long, skinny deal. It'd be a good workout room or a good office, or I guess it could be a bedroom. 2, 3. This is okay. So to get down to the basement from the kitchen, we're gonna bebop here and look at this charming little fella riding out on the, looking out over the back 40 acres. So you can keep that if you want, and I don't know, maybe paint over that. I'll say over that. I mean, there's his ride. Okay, basement. Basically a basement. A couple things I want to point out. It's a little damp down here, but not any standing water or anything of super concern. There's a little bit, but yeah, I've seen way worse, way worse. Here is the new boiler. There's an old HVAC, so that would probably have to be updated. So a couple things I don't see a lot of down here. There is some knob and tube, but not a ton. And the plumbing stacks are kind of a mix. Mostly cast iron, so a lot of those are going to have to be updated. But that's kind of common. But just a huge open space down here. You could definitely finish it off. You could have more living space down here, more office, whatever you need. Hot water heater looks good. And the electric panel, sorry it's a little dark, but it's breakers. And like I said, I've seen a little bit of knob and tube, but not a ton. And that's the basement. Oh, the other thing I don't see a lot of down here is asbestos. So a lot of times these pipes, they're covered in asbestos, and these are not. This is an updated, right there. That's cast. Yeah, so you don't have to clown around with asbestos remediation. Okay, let's go maybe look around the outside. Okay, so a little outside tour here. I wanted to give you a little background on exactly where this house sits in the neighborhood. So you enter from this direction, from Union, and then you come down this boulevard all the way down as west, almost as far west as you can go. That's de Bolivar down there, which, to put it in perspective, that street, you head to the south, and that puts you right at the History Museum. So you're pretty close to the History Museum, Forest Park wise. So I would say on the exterior it's in really pretty good shape. Some tuck pointing, I'm sure, because it's a big house and there are a lot of bricks here. But in general, there's not a lot of settling, there's not a lot of cracks, a little carpentry work on the front. I really like this exterior. I think it's sharp, and it helps me like the rest of the house for sure. So, you know, there's a little bit of chimney stuff there, but this is all in pretty good shape. It's pretty clean. It looks like water doesn't really pool against the foundation wall there very much. And then I think this is a great backyard just because of, if you wanted to add the pool and the outdoor kitchen and all that, you could do that. There's plenty of room for that and still have a little bit of yard. Or just keep it, you know, grass and hang out. Back this way, back of the house. You know, that roof looks really good. So that is a big expense that no one will have here for years. But yeah, this needs a little cleanup. But I think you could get a little more life out of this for sure. And it's a 2-car garage with alley access. Big garage, 2 cars and more gear for sure. So I guess this is more alley access. So, oh yeah, so this is, it's kind of a side entry garage. So that's how you access the garage from the side, which is interesting. All right, there's the exterior. Looks really good. It's clean. And I really like this house. I think it was a great chance for somebody to get into this neighborhood, which is a very cool neighborhood, and really be a part of something that's coming back. I think one thing you'll notice right when you get down here, there are a lot of dumpsters. There's a lot of work going on down here, so now is a good time to do it. Okay, thanks for taking a look. Number 49, Kingsbury Place. Yeah, you guys can't get rid of me. And I would be remiss without showing you the front entry gate. This is from Union. This is where you enter and exit. This is one of the most iconic places in St. Louis, residentially speaking, and it's super cool. Just part of what you can get into in Kingsbury Place. Cool.